guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video. So what I actually want to do in this video is go over upcoming mods. What do I have coming in? What else do I have planned? And also I wanted to kind of go into something at the end that I have been thinking about very thoroughly. And I wanted to kind of bounce some ideas off of your guys' heads and maybe get some feedback on kind of which direction to go and see what we can do. Now, before we go ahead and get this video started, I just wanted to let you know today is the last day that the lower class garage front chassis bar is on sale. If you use my code SCOOBYFREAK at checkout, you can get 20% off. I'll leave a link below to the lower class garage bar. You can get the half brace, full brace, anything on their site. It doesn't have to be just for the 15 plus STI or WX. It can be for older generations as well. They have all different colors. So be sure to go to the website because today is the last day of the Labor Day sale. So if you are interested in picking one up, it ends at 11:59 Pacific Standard Time. So use SCOOBYFREAK for 20% off of your entire order at checkout. Alright, so let's get into the video. I wanted to go over some upcoming mods that are coming in, things that I already have, as well as other thoughts or other plans that I would like to do to this car in the future. Just mulling some ideas over, winter is fast approaching. So I wanted to get some ideas of what to do with the car while there is some downtime, while the car is in the garage for the colder months, and just kind of staying busy, working on the car, having fun with it, while I'm not driving it as much. So this box has been sitting here for quite a while. This is the Veris Engineering lower control arm covers. This actually connects or bolts up to the diffuser that I'm running, which is a Veris Engineering diffuser. It covers up the lower control arm area. It helps with the cleanliness and overall dirt and everything, so it should keep the rear coilover area nice and clean, but it also helps with aerodynamics as well. It has a ton of R&D and tests and everything to help with the overall aerodynamics and airflow. I'm putting these lower control arm covers on as well is only going to help that. Plus it helps with the cleanliness, as I mentioned. I do need to get some time to get this installed. I do need to remove the diffuser since it bolts up to this in order to install this properly. I just haven't had time. I've been so busy and everything. But these are going on the car very soon, so stay on the lookout for that video very shortly. The next mod that I wanted to talk about is the Recaro carbon fiber backs. I have talked about this before. This is something that has been on my mind, on my list for quite some time. It is definitely something I want to do very soon. I just haven't bit the bullet yet. They're pretty pricey just for a cosmetic mod. Not that that has stopped me in the past, but still it's something that I'm kind of back and forth on. And I don't get too upset investing money into these seats since I do plan on putting these into any future car that I do have since I love them so much. So having some nice carbon backs is definitely on my list. I do plan on getting them. I do have a vendor that has them currently. I just need to buy them. I just haven't bit the bullet yet. There's so many things running through my mind that I just haven't committed to it yet. But those will be very soon. I think that's going to look really nice, kind of tie in the interior. And I think it's going to be awesome. I did also have the idea of switching out the rear seats with WRX seats to get rid of this red, since it doesn't really match my interior anymore. But I do love the suede, micro suede Alcantara, whatever this is from Subaru. I do love the centers of these seats. So I'm kind of back and forth on it because I do have a lot of Alcantara in the car. So going with WRX seats, I probably would go with a full leather seat from the limited WRX. So it would remove the Alcantara centers. So I don't know, I'm back and forth. I just really can't stand the red. It just doesn't match the interior. I never was a fan of it to begin with, even with the stock seats, and when the car was completely stock, I just never was a big fan of it. As you can see in the front of the car, there's literally no red at all other than the red stitching, which I don't mind. I think that looks nice. I think just the red accents on the seats are just a little too much, and it kind of just attracts your eye too much and kind of looks out of place. So I don't know, I'm back and forth on it. Maybe I'll switch, we'll see. But for now, I'll probably just hang on to them since they do have the Alcantara centers. Next mod that I want to talk about is the carbon fiber roof. I've already discussed this. I've already talked about it. It is something that I definitely want to do. A lot of people were telling me to go with a company called Marsh Composites, which is actually a company that I was very familiar with when you guys mentioned them. So it definitely is something that I'm looking into. But again, it's one of those things that's going to have a lot of downtime because you literally need to bring the car in, get the roof unriveted and cut out. And then you're going to have to re-rivet and get the new carbon roof put back in. So there is going to be some downtime with that whenever it is I do decide to get to it. And also the roofs as well, there's a long lead time to pick those up. So I do need to get on that and get a hold of Marsh Composites, talk with them, see if we can get something done with the carbon roof. I would love to get that done. A lot of people were telling me just to find a used Type RA roof which is definitely not out of the question, but even used, they're like $3,000. The Marsh Composite one is about 1,500 or so, 1,100, 1,200, something like that. It's in the lower thousands, so it's not too bad. Obviously, the labor is what's going to be more expensive overall. But you know, spending $3,000 on a Type RA roof is, I don't know, kind of expensive in my mind. The Marsh Composite seems a little bit more plausible, at least for me. So I'll probably go with that one when or if I decide to do it, but that would be awesome. I do love the wrapped black roof, but a carbon roof would really set this car off and just kind of take it to the next level. Alrighty, so this next mod that I'm going to discuss may have your head scratching because we are talking about a hood. Again, you guys know that I actually ran the VIS Racing, however you say it. I ran that carbon fiber hood for about a year last year. Loved it, looked great, but what I originally planned with that hood was to get it painted. You know, leave the vents left carbon and everything, which would have looked really nice. But I just wasn't 110% happy with the fitment. Obviously, OEM is going to fit better than any aftermarket part. So it was kind of back and forth. You know, did I really want to invest even more into that hood? That hood is expensive in general. You know, so dropping another, I don't know, $1,000 or so to get it painted. Definitely had my head scratching. You know, is it worth it? Do I really want to spend that much money on this hood? You know, is it really worth it? And second reason why I got rid of it is somebody actually reached out to me and gave me an offer that was unbelievably hard to refuse. Obviously, guys know the outcome of that. So I ended up letting it go for a really good offer. And I went back to the stock hood, which I was actually very pleased with. I went with the WRX Daily Carbon Scoop and everything. It looks really good. But what this made me realize is that I do prefer a painted hood, but I do like carbon, as you can see. So I'm in talk with a company right now that I have actually bought parts for, and I'm really close with and everything with the actual owner. So we've been working something out on a really cool hood. I'm not going to go into details just yet, but I'm really excited about it. It is the same exact style that I was running, but we have some tricks up our sleeve, and it's going to be a little bit different than what most people are used to, at least what most people put on this car. So I'm really excited for it. Is it going to happen? We will see. There is some lead time waiting for those hoods to come in. So once those come in and we kind of get an idea of everything going on, I will update you guys, but I'm pretty excited about that because it is something pretty cool, and I think a lot of people are going to like. All right, so another modification that I wanted to discuss very quickly is the steering wheel. I have been running this Alcantara steering wheel from SCOOBYSPEED. It is called the PK style, which is full Alcantara with the red stripe on top. I love this style of steering wheel. I've been running this same steering wheel for like 4.5 years now. It's one of the first things I did. I actually did it at the same time that I did my first set of Fortunato coilovers, which was that first summer that I bought the car. So pretty much 5 years with this steering wheel. Still looks brand new. I absolutely love it. A lot of people ask me about it very often. Unfortunately, SCOOBYSPEED doesn't sell this exact one anymore. I believe Faction Fab is the other brand that they have now that is a very similar style. I think there's some differences overall, but this exact one they don't sell anymore, and I love it. It's very nice. The feel and thickness of the overall steering wheel is very nice. The red strip at the top is a nice feature as well, and it's not crazy. It doesn't have any crazy carbon or lights or anything like that, which I'm not a big fan of. But I have been thinking about changing over to something a little bit more higher end. Not that this isn't nice, but I've been looking into steering wheels and companies that make or wrap some really nice steering wheels, something a little bit different. So I have been looking into that. Now, like I said, this is beautiful. It's held up very well. I stay on top of it with Sonax Alcantara cleaner. And I use a soft toothbrush as well to kind of fluff up the fibers every once in a while. So it has nothing to do with it getting old or used or, you know, gross looking or anything like that. It still looks brand new. But me just kind of diving into this car, going all in, making sure it's perfect at all times, and kind of upgrading things that I feel need a little bit more detail is something that's on my mind, and always is for that matter. But the steering wheel is something that I have been looking into, trying to find a company that does some really nice high-end steering wheels. So we'll see. I haven't really found any yet. I don't want anything that is carbon. I don't want anything that's different, crazy shaped or anything like that. I just want something that's, I guess, a little bit nicer, a little bit higher end than this, but we will see. My research still continues on that. I will update you guys if I find anything. Another modification that I have been looking into are the folding mirrors. I believe they're the JDM folding mirrors. When you park, obviously they fold in, which is really nice. Anytime I park in the garage, you may see it in videos that I'll always have the mirrors folded in. My wife's Telluride is automatic as well, so that is always folded when it's parked. But mine, I have to do it manually, which is not a big deal. But it would be pretty cool to have that done automatically when I park and have the ability to fold and unfold them when I want. It'd be really, really nice. Pulling in the garage, I can get close to the wall so I don't have to worry about kids bumping in and everything. I do that normally, but I have to get out, pull the mirrors in and everything just so I don't bump the side of the garage. But I have been looking into the JDM folding mirrors. I'm not really sure what it takes to get them to work. I know there's modules and everything, obviously the mirrors, but I really haven't looked into it too much. So if anybody has information about them, where I can get them, let me know. I know some people have done the puddle lights as well. I put actually a lot of money, I think like $600 just into mirror mods already, just what's on the car currently. So putting the JDM mirrors, the folding mirrors would be pretty nice, and something that would actually be really useful for me since I always fold in the mirrors. So if you have any insight or you've done them before, let me know in the comments. I would love to kind of bounce some ideas off of your head, get some ideas of what it costs and all that, because I think that would be pretty cool and a nice addition to the car. All right, so the last thing that I actually wanted to talk about is the elephant in the room. This thing right here. Do I build the motor or do I not? I'm at that point with this car that I am so pleased with everything. Wheels, suspension, brakes, overall power, interior, everything, the way it looks. I'm 100% super satisfied with it. Just those little things that I named earlier is just one of those things that's going to take it to the next level and just make it that much better overall. But in general, this car in my eyes is pretty much complete. There's a few small details and things that I still would like to do, but overall, the majority of it I'm very, very happy with. And there's not much more that I really want to change with it since I feel like it's so perfect. But building the engine. A lot of people have told me to do this. A lot of people ask me about it. It's on my mind constantly. So I wanted to take some time to discuss this since this is a pretty large investment going into this. And I wanted to get your guys' feedback and see what you think. All right, so as I mentioned, building the motor is probably the next big thing to do to this car. I did pretty much everything you possibly can to this car except building the motor. Currently, I'm at 413 horsepower, 358 foot-pounds of torque at 18 PSI. It is stock block, stock internals and everything. I'm running a Blausch 1.5 XTR turbo and a bunch of other stuff that you guys know. It is flawless. It drives beautiful. There is nothing wrong with it. Incredibly quick for what it is, a lot of fun, and honestly, there's really no need for more power. But in the pursuit of me trying to make this car absolutely perfect and the absolute dream that I've always envisioned, building the motor is something that I would love to do. But I'm kind of at a crossroads here, and I'll tell you why. The way that I want to build this motor is, you guys know how I kind of approach things. I go all in with everything. I don't take shortcuts. I don't do plan B or anything like that. I always make sure that I'm going with what I want the first time around. So with saying that, building this motor, I would only want to do it once. And in order to do that, it's pretty darn expensive. Simply put, to build this motor, we're looking at around 30 grand, at least the way that I want to do it, which, you know, a lot of people have done that. It's not the most expensive build in the world, but it definitely begs the question. 30 grand, that is a lot of money, no question. To build a motor, to build a car that you've had for almost 6 years now, that's a lot. So it made me start scratching my head. You know, do I plan on keeping this car forever? Do I want to put another $30,000 into this car just to enjoy it for another year or two, or possibly forever? Who knows? You know, is this something that I want to do? That is a lot of money. So ideas started bouncing around in my head, you know, like 30 grand, what else can I do with that? Obviously I can build a motor, finish this car, make it beautiful, make it perfect, and have a lot of fun. But 30 grand, that's another project. That's a whole other car. That's a whole bunch of other car parts that we can do a completely different build on. You know, do I take that 30 grand and invest it, you know, even more into this car just to get, you know, another 100, 150 horsepower out of it and, you know, have some fun with it, make more content on it, or buy another car, do a bunch of other different mods, have some fun with a different platform, and enjoy, you know, something else other than the STI. You know, that's the question that's kind of bouncing around in my head. Should I build it? Should I go for another project? You know, what should I do? Now, obviously, it's going to come down to my decision. I'm not going to put up a poll and whatever you guys say is what I'm going to do. It's going to come down to what makes the most sense. But as you know, when I make these videos, these kind of discussion videos, I love to hear feedback. I love to kind of bounce those ideas off of you guys, see what you guys have to say, and ultimately it helps me decide. You know, it helps me kind of dwindle down the right decision overall, kind of makes me think. You know, this channel and these videos are my therapy. This is a way for me to kind of, you know, blurt out everything that's in my head as opposed to keeping it inside and just, you know, I don't get to go out to car meets and do that kind of stuff as often as I used to. So making these videos and kind of talking it out does help a lot. So that is why I do that. So I'm really curious, would you guys want to see a built motor on this and just go nuts on it? Or would you want to see another project? You know, I right now, I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth on it. I want to do both, and maybe we will in the future. But for right now, I'm back and forth. I'm not really sure. So let me know in the comments. Should I build the motor or should we go with the new project? So that is all I got for this video. Just a quick little discussion video, some ideas bouncing off my head. I wanted to update you guys. I have a few mods coming in and everything and just had some downtime. So I figured I would just do a quick kind of discussion video in the garage, bounce some ideas off your head and see what you guys think. Also, don't forget the lower class garage front chassis bar. Today is the last day to pick up the 20% off sale, so make sure you pick one up if you are interested in getting one. They won't do another sale for the rest of the year, so now is the time to get one. 20% off. Use SCOOBYFREAK at checkout, lowerclassgarage.com. I'll leave a link below for you guys. But as for this one, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions at all, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of what I should do. I would love to hear it. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.